game that needs no introduction, and if you need one, Google is free. Since the game's creation, content has been made by various people across the internet, with most people my age and older finding the game through these content creators, mainly through YouTube. I know for me, the first Minecraft channel I watched was a small channel called Uncle Tone Muses. This initial obsession with the game led me to watch other notable channels of the 2010s. This is what many would describe as original Minecraft YouTube. But if there's original, there must be a new one. This is what many now call Modern MCYT YouTube. But we aren't here to talk about Modern MCYT YouTube itself. We're here to talk about the fandom itself. The fans and what they think, make, and do. People from the original and new content. To do this, I hosted an anonymous survey posted on Tumblr, Reddit, and the Hermitcraft fan Facebook group to get a wide range of answers. I also looked at the fan work archive site Archive of Our Own, or AO3, to see any and all general trends in the genre. Today, we are looking at the fandom. We are looking at you and me. This is my analysis of the Modern MCYT YouTube fandom.
Hello, this is Stampy Longnose, and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play video, and what a beautiful day it is in my lovely world right now.
Hey guys, what's up? LD Shadowlady here, welcome back to Shadowcraft.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the next episode of Crazy Crab.
Hey everyone, Dan here from the Time of Minecraft. Welcome back to
Are you little Carly?
Yes. Are you little Kelly?
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cute Craft.
Hey guys, welcome back to another survival adventure. We've got pretty much the whole entire game.
Come on, two kids.
Hey guys!
Welcome to Minecraft Diaries.
You really think you can take
If gods can bleed, gods can die.
and replace one tyrant with another?
Not your time to die yet.
How can you look at this and still see yourself as a hero?
We would rather die than give in to you. But the thing about this world, Tom, is that good things don't happen to heroes.
Technoblade never dies.
The clash of the great stags. The demon on the server that's causing chaos and corruption.
I want to go kill somebody.
He's literally a fish. He takes the bait every time.
I think he came from a small damaged egg.
Quick! He's bye-bye, he's gone. Red winter is coming!
I will murder them.
Everything bends.
Wait, Scott, what are you doing? Scott!
How'd the guy with no friends win?
Give it up again for your MCC champions, the Yellow Yaks! Sire Coyotes! Pink Pandas!
Wizardati! Wizardati!
I want to vote, and I want to sell seas.
You leave an open invitation with a vampire. It doesn't usually end well. Too far away for you to the street.
The darkest of them all.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the third Hermitcraft charity event with benefiting gamers outreach. All those cards in those screenshots, those are cards that you donated to the world. 3+ comments, the cards are just from Hermitcraft. Absolutely amazing.
But wait, in order to understand a fandom, we have to know what they're a fan of. There's a reason many make the distinction between original and modern Minecraft content. Before 2019, it seemed as though Minecraft was fading out of popularity, with games like Fortnite gaining massive popularity. There was still a dedicated fan base, but it wasn't as in the public eye as it was before. This changed in 2019. The two main things that happened here was the creation of Minecraft Mondays and SMP Live. SMP Live was an SMP or survival multiplayer with a very simple concept. If you were on the server, you had to be live. It didn't matter if you were just doing the mundane task of chopping trees or strip mining or gathering and smelting sand. You had to be live streaming. Meanwhile, Minecraft Mondays ran for about 14 weeks and was hosted by YouTuber Keemstar. Different creators, some of which had never played Minecraft, would get together and try and win a cash prize in teams of 2. What started as a joke after the success of Fortnite Fridays turned into one of the things that got the ball rolling on the Minecraft boom. Minecraft Mondays then inspired MC Championships, which is still ongoing today. But if it was just SMP Live and Minecraft Mondays, we would have lost the community once they had ended. But why did it persist? The answer lies in the perfect storm of the global pandemic and the Dream SMP. The Dream SMP started right at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. With people stuck at home with nothing better to do, many would tune into the live streams of their favorite perspectives and streamers of the Minecraft multiplayer server that somehow managed to have some of the most complex lore and storylines that still draw in a community. And the best part is, it was all, or at least started, as improvisation. While this may not seem so important, it's a quality of many popular Minecraft series that we see today. These three things are what many would say kickstarted the Minecraft renaissance. But they're definitely not the only things. Since 2020, there have been many successful series online, such as the Life series, Empire's SMP, Lifesteal SMP, POW Creations SMPs, and probably way more than I know of. But you aren't here for a history lesson. You're here because you're curious about the fandom itself. Fandom, especially those that originate online, are so interesting in how diverse they are. People from all different backgrounds come together under a singular shared interest, and it allows people to meet online that they wouldn't have met otherwise. But despite these differences, there are still trends in what is popular. But how do we figure out these trends? As I mentioned before, I looked at Archive of Our Own as well as making an anonymous survey posted online. Now, why did I look at fanfiction of all things? Well, that's because it can tell you a lot about that part of a fandom, as well as comparing and contrasting different subsections of a whole. Now, this does have some limitations. For example, fanfiction can be a bit of a controversial topic in the fandom, as we will get into later. There's also the fact that sometimes fanfiction shows more extremes in tropes and genres than something like fan art or animations. Despite these limitations, they can still be a great source when used correctly. Here's how we'll approach this. I looked at 12 fandoms on AO3 based on my own self-imposed qualifications. In order to qualify for inclusion, the fandom must have been filterable, Minecraft-based, and have 1,000+ works as of March 1st. And all stats were taken on this date. Otherwise, all fandoms were considered. These qualifications narrowed down the fandoms to these 12. Yandere High School by Sam Gladiator, State SMP, which is the Ish Civilization videos, Evolution SMP, Minecraft Diaries by Afmao, Origins SMP, Vampires SMP, Lifesteal SMP, Empires SMP, Quackity SMP, Hermitcraft, the Life series, and the Dream SMP. Overall, looking at these fandoms allowed me to see some prevalent trends, though it is important to note that because of some creators' inclusion across multiple of these fandoms, there may be some observations that seem to be leaning towards one series than another. And though they are not considered modern Minecraft YouTube, I chose to include the fandoms of Yandere High School due to reasons that will be shown soon, and Minecraft Diaries due to the AFMAO community experiencing a renaissance of their own lately. Overall, these were the general trends noticed. English tends to be the most written in language across all the fandoms, with most of them being at about 96 to 99% English. The only exception is the Quackity SMP, which is at 79.7% English. 3 of the 12 fandoms have their main rating as general audiences, and these are Empire's SMP, Quackity SMP, and Hermitcraft. The rest of the fandoms are teen and up. 7 of the 12 fandoms have their top category as M/Fix. There are then 4 that have general as their top category. These are Evolution SMP, Origins SMP, Hermitcraft, and the Dream SMP. Green appears 5 times in the top 10 characters, being number 1 in 4. And in 3 of those 4, Yandere High School by Sam Gladiator is in the top 10 fandoms through crossovers. Scar appears 4 times in the top 10 characters, being number 2 in 2 fandoms. In both cases, he is right behind Grian. The romantic pairing between Grian and Scar appears in the top 10 relationships in 5 of the 10 fandoms. Tommy Innit is the number 1 top character in Origins SMP and Dream SMP, though that is all he appears in. His name appears 12 times in the top 10 relationships between both of these fandoms, all of which are platonic. The Dream SMP, the Life series, and Hermitcraft all appear in 10 of the 12 fandoms in the form of crossovers. Vampires SMP and Quackity SMP are the only fandoms where video blogging RPF does not show up as a top 10 fandom, despite 3 of the remaining 10 having not RPF as a top 10 additional tag. Angst is a top 10 additional tag in all 12 fandoms, being number 1 in 8. Fluff is a top 10 additional tag in all 12 fandoms, either by itself or in the tag of Fluff and Angst, being number 1 in only Hermitcraft. Finally, fandoms in the top 10 fandom crossovers for each fandom tend to be other SMPs, whether or not the same people are present in both. The only exceptions are the aforementioned video blogging RPF, Minecraft, and the one occurrence of Phasmophobia in Hermitcraft. Okay, so we have the prevalent patterns, but what do they mean? Well, it can help us figure out things like popular characters, tropes, and crossovers. It can also tell us a bit about one of the main criticisms against Minecraft YouTube fanfiction. Some of the points, such as languages, will be shown a bit more in depth in the survey responses. Overall, we can see a general pattern in who and what people write about the most. As said, the Korean character tag appears 5 times across the 12 fandoms. This lines up with something many of us know, which is that Hermitcraft saw a jump in popularity with his addition in Season 6. For the most part, I would like to focus on 3 main things that I found particularly interesting. We can see a clear pattern in what a series is about in the correlation between the genres of fanfiction. Empire's SMP, Quackity SMP, and Hermitcraft are all mostly rated with general audiences. This may make immediate sense for both Empire's SMP and Hermitcraft, as these are both servers where the creators are either PG or close enough. The other thing to consider is the theming of these servers themselves, which is how we can include the Quackity SMP in this. While the creators themselves are not necessarily PG, the entire idea of the server being a place where you can interact with others who might not even speak your language through live translating is such a wonderful idea. We can also see this in Empire's SMP and Hermitcraft. Hermitcraft has always been about creating connections and interacting with other members in addition to building or redstone engineering. Empire started as just a server between friends that ended up turning into one of the most lore-heavy SMPs since the Dream SMP. Something that I found interesting was the prevalence of M/Fix in these fandoms, though it isn't surprising. If we look at one of the series with this top category, the Life series, there have been 18 members over the course of the series, and yet 14 of those creators identify as male. Even in the first season of Third Life that only had 14 creators, 13 were male. It's a well-known thing that most of the popular Minecraft creators currently are men, and some things related to this will be discussed in the survey results. One of the biggest criticisms against fanfiction in the Minecraft YouTube community is that these are real people, which I definitely understand. Writing fanfiction about real people can get weird really quickly, especially when you bring romantic pairings into the mix. It is important to note that AO3 does not make any distinction of character tags between creators and their characters. This leads to the tags immediately being counted as part of the video blogging RPF or real person fiction. This is part of the reason that while 10 of the fandoms have the tag listed in their top 10 crossover fandoms, 3 of those 10 have not RPF listed as an additional tag. For the most part, people tend to make fanfiction about the content creator's caricature, persona, or character. Once again, some of these themes will be revisited in the survey results. There are many other things that can be said about fanfiction trends and what they say about the community. There are so many things that I didn't go into, such as the additional tags of angst and fluff. But I won't waste your time any longer, because I know why at least some of you are here. You want to see the survey results. For those unaware, I posted an anonymous survey across 3 different fandom hubs with the goal of learning and hearing from the fandom directly instead of just observing. The survey ran for a little over a month and somehow managed to have 312 participants. Obviously, I cannot include everything that was said, but I absolutely loved reading through everyone's answers on some short and long answer questions. Now, with any survey, there will be limitations. I posted the survey on Tumblr, Reddit, and a fan Facebook group for Hermitcraft. This of course means that the survey results may be skewed towards those who frequent these sites and ignores some other parts of the fandom on other sites. Another flaw was my own fault. There was a question asking participants for their age range if they were comfortable sharing. While over 200 of the results had up to 60 plus for an age range, there was a point where it was 20 plus and then 40 plus. Thank you to those who shared feedback to help me change this relatively early on. But because of this, the results about age ranges may be inaccurate. But without further ado, let's get into some questions and answers. The first section asked participants questions about geography and demographics. 85.3% said that they lived in an English-speaking country, which lines up pretty well with the question of what country they were a resident of. Participants were told to be as vague as they wish with this section, and a handful chose not to disclose this information. The majority of participants were residents of the United States, United Kingdom, or simply listed North America. Some generalizations were made simply because if I were to list every country or region that people were from, the graph would be horrendous. Much like the original graph for all the non-English languages spoken by participants. Around 35 unique languages were listed from people around the world, and the original graph looked like this. So once again, I made generalizations where I could based around location and language family. The most spoken languages other than English were Spanish, French, and German. What was also really interesting were 2 participants who spoke indigenous languages, which are shown on the graph. The next question was about age, which, like I said before, the results are a bit inaccurate. I decided to put the answers of 20 plus and 40 plus under their own category of void answers. The majority of participants marked the age range of 16 to 19 years old, with 20 to 29-year-olds being a relatively close second. Every other answer was marked at least once, even the range of 60 plus. Finally, I ended the section asking participants to share any demographics that they believed were important and were comfortable sharing. People shared things like ethnicity, race, disabilities, disorders, careers, religion, whether they were LGBTQ+, and any college degrees that they have. It was so fun reading through these and seeing the mothers and grandparents. People shared how long they had been sober or if they had DID. The main patterns I saw in the survey were 2 main things. The first is that a majority of participants listed as being LGBTQ+ in one way or another. The other is that many of the participants said that they were neurodiverse with either autism, ADHD, Tourette's, OCD, and more. The next section focused on participants' experience with the game and content. 96.5% of participants said that they play Minecraft themselves. They were then instructed to select any and all versions of the game they had played. Unsurprisingly, Java had the most, followed by Bedrock, Pocket Edition, and then Legacy Console. I then asked how long they had been playing the game. A majority of participants selected 6 to 10 years, followed closely by 11 plus years and 1 to 5 years. Only 6 people said that they had been playing the game for less than a year. Following these questions, I asked if they had watched Minecraft YouTube content from 2011 to 2018, of which 49.7% selected yes and that they watched a lot. Then I asked them to list some of the content creators they watched. I won't go through all of them, but some of the ones that showed up the most are Dang That's a Long Name, LD Shadow Lady, Popular MMOs, The Yogscast, Grian, Mumbo Jumbo, Afmao, Dan TDM, Stampy, Captain Sparkles, It's Funny, and Little Kelly. Of course, many other creators showed up, but we would be here for ages if I listed every creator. On the next question, 57% of participants said that at some point they had drifted away from watching the content. That's over half of the participants. And for those participants, I asked them what got back into the content, as well as asking those who entered since 2019 what got them into it. Like I mentioned before, many contributed it to quarantine and the COVID lockdown. They watched things like Hermitcraft, the Dream SMP, the Life series, Empire's SMP, and the Ish Civilization videos. It was also fun to see people say, "My friend showed it to me," or "My child introduced it to me." There were even a few "My spouse got me into it." The final section focused around fan content and the participants' views on different topics. I started by asking if they enjoyed consuming fan content, of which 95.5% said yes. For those individuals, I asked what kinds of content they enjoyed. The most popular seemed to be animatics or animations and fan art. Along with some other options, I also gave the participants the opportunity to add their own type of content in addition, of which there were 16 of these answers. For those who said no, I asked why. Most stated that it's just not their thing, that there is a lot of copying and the toxicity. These are all very valid criticisms, and to be honest, I agree with most of their points. Here are some individual answers that gave a nice look into what they thought. Some people get weird about it. It's enjoyable content but uncomfortable when people take it too far or personal. Many people are very respectful though, which is what I do love about the fandom. I don't mind it, but it's not something I actively consume, which I don't think is for any specific reason other than it's the fact that it's just not my thing. I'll watch a TikTok edit or two if they come across my For You page. Then came the million-dollar question of their opinions on fanfiction. Some participants wondered why I specifically asked this, and it's like I said before, fanfiction in the fandom is simultaneously one of the most liked and most criticized things in the community. I didn't want to just ask if they were okay with fanfiction, so I gave them the chance to say why they think what they think. Most participants shared that it's okay as long as they respect the content creators' boundaries, the phrase characters not creators, or just other general opinions. Here are just a handful of individual answers to this question that I think are the most effective in sharing their opinion. I don't write or read a lot of it, but it's cool how large some fics have gotten, such as Midnight Strangers and Desert Duo Vigilante AU. Each their own, but for Minecraft YouTube, it's not my cup of tea, even though I used to write my own in other fandoms. I always felt uncomfortable reading fanfic of somewhat real people, even if the online personas are more of a character. I just find it awkward. I feel like fanfiction should be reserved for characters, not for real-life humans. And I get that to an extent, YouTubers or streamers are putting out a character, but I often feel like the fanfictions are often on the real-life human and it feels weird. I mean, some of it may cross a line, but I get the inspiration. I wrote similar stuff when I was younger. Also, I used to be a fan blogger in the Harry Potter fandom, and there was a lot of it there. It's just a way of connecting and self-expression. I like it. I write a bit as well. I think it's pushed in creators' faces a bit too much sometimes. Fandom should stay with the fans. It's a shame so much has been deleted. I full support it. I am a firm believer in everybody's right to create what they wish, although I do personally feel as if fanfiction should be kept as far away from the content creators as possible. These answers were fun to read, including a 7-paragraph essay, and there are so many other responses that I could definitely include. However, I don't think we want to sit through all of that. If asking about fanfiction was the million-dollar question, the next one was at least double that. I asked participants for their opinions on shipping and romantic pairings. I specifically referenced the pairing of Grian and Scar, which is easily one of the most popular romantic pairings as shown of their placement of number 64 in the top 100 AO3 ships of 2025. A majority of people repeated their opinions of characters not creators and respecting the content creators' boundaries. Once again, I'll showcase some specific answers. I am in full support of shipping, and although I personally do like to separate characters from creators and ship only the characters, I believe in don't like, don't breed, and that people can ship whatever they want, although this should be kept quite far away from the content creators. I enjoy shipping characters as long as it's clear that it's only the characters, with the only exceptions being people who are together in real life, such as Scott and Cam, Lizzie and Joel, Owen and Luann, and etc. As long as creators are okay with their characters being shipped, then go for it. See something you don't ship, then scroll and find something you do enjoy. No need to hate on it if it's harmless. Shipping is great for more creative freedom, but like fanfictions, it can break creators' boundaries, which is so wrong. People seem to use shipping as a way to get around boundaries as an excuse. I find it quite uncomfortable, especially when people being shipped are really good friends. I think fans often forget that these are real people who may feel negative effects of it. I watch a lot of Markiplier, and I know the Stepdiplier shipping made them drift apart a bit and make less content together for a while, so I always find it a bit strange. I'm not comfortable with the whole shipping thing, especially with real people. We don't know them explicitly, and not every relationship needs to be romantic. Let them be friends and just consume the content of them as friends. I think as long as people are respectful and keeping everything tagged properly so anyone who doesn't like it can avoid it, is cool. As long as people aren't expecting actual romantic relationships in real life to evolve from their shipping. It's a fandom and fandoms are gonna ship. I'm very rarely interested in shipping, so aside from the few I actively enjoy, I feel pretty neutral on other ships. I do sort of wish platonic or non-MLM relationships were shown more love though. I personally believe that any shipping should account for content creators' boundaries, but I also cannot control other people, so I choose not to interact with anything that is explicitly parasocial or crosses boundaries. That's where I'm going to leave off these responses, but everyone had some sort of well thought out input. For the last question, I asked for the individual's opinions about the fandom itself. Despite the reminder that this was an anonymous survey, so they could be as blunt as they liked, many continued to say positive things about the community and how it has contributed to their lives. Though they were not denying some of the toxicity that can be present in the community, such as fans being parasocial, misogyny, discourse, and how some creators themselves can be problematic and how we should be calling them out. Those who were in their 30s or older often pointed out that the fandom is quite young and how that is perfectly fine. People also said that fandom spaces should be exclusively for the fans and are not necessarily for the content creators themselves. Genuinely, it was so fun to look through everyone's answers in this survey as a whole. I promise that I read each and every one, even the 2 7-paragraph essay answers. And thank you so much to everyone who wished me luck with my project and provided feedback, as well as all the participants in general. I quite literally couldn't have done this without each and every one of you. Seeing so many people having the same interests or opinions that differ from mine was so much fun. I originally wasn't going to make this public, just something I could post as unlisted and send to my professor. But so many of you were wanting to see the results, whether you expressed it in the survey or in the comments of a post I made. So, this was for you, and I hope you enjoyed.